I've seen a lot of videos of Mehgan Markle, and I think what really stands out is the hypocrisy. I mean, everybody speaks about how it's very odd that they're very angry at the paparazzi and then they move to LA, and everywhere they go, there's paparazzi. Um, it's like there's a lot of things that are very odd, and the way she treats Mehgan Markle, the way Mehgan Markle treats her father is despicable. I think the reason that she has this um, televised or a photographed relationship with her mother is because she's using her mother's dark skin to make her look like she's fighting for African American rights, or she's fighting racism, whereas the ginger father doesn't offer her that sort of coverage or popularity, because it's very popular to claim racism. However, gingerism, it's not as popular. So she's a woman who just uses everybody. I think it's a part of a narcissistic personality disorder, and I came up with this phrase. What do narcissists do? They use you, abuse you, and lose you. And I've experienced narcissism exactly at that stage. So Mehgan Markle is she's a prototype of a narcissistic personality disorder. She'll use people, she'll abuse them, and then she will lose them. And it's really sad for her. Narcissists are ultimately their own worst enemies because they don't really have a capacity of feeling empathy towards anyone. Yes, she may write love messages on bananas, but a person who can disown her father, people are wondering, how can you disown a 79-year-old man? Your children look like clones of of the grandfather. How can you abandon a man in his old age? It's like, it's something that nobody can ignore. And I'm wondering why her mother is actually not saying anything. I mean, it looks like he was not an abusive husband or father. Why is her mother not speaking out? She's a social worker, a yoga teacher. You would think that she would encourage her daughter to bond with her father. But the way she just disconnects from a father that is responsible for her getting an education. First she uses her father, then she uses her husband, the ginger husband number one, and now she's ginger husband number two. I mean, what kind of an example is it for her children? Another thing that really strikes me odd is the way she talks about roasting a chicken on one of the first videos where she's sitting next to Harry. Oh, we roasted a chicken. And then she's actually rescuing chickens. There's so many contradictions with that woman. And I would say, I know women like her, and I would say stay away from people like that. Because you can see how they're out there for what they can get, and they're not really interested in friendship because they don't have any capacity of forming real human connections. Everything is fake and phony. And I think Harry really got what he deserves, because I really think, I don't know if he's a narcissist, but I think he's the sort of person that will literally sell his own grandmother for publicity and money. I don't think he really cares. And I really don't know what sort of person he is. I don't think he is a narcissist. I think he's just a psychopath on some level, because I can't imagine anyone dressing in a Nazi uniform and not being a psychopath. It's so insensitive, especially after United Kingdom sacrificed so many soldiers fighting the Nazis, and his own grandfather was such a big hero. He really, his grandmother and his grandfather saved England from a horrible king. Luckily, King Edward gave up the throne because his plan was to form an alliance with Nazi Germany. You can find this all over Google and the internet. So Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip saved United Kingdom from becoming part of Nazi Germany. Had the king not married the divorced woman. It's so weird how Harry imitates his, great uncle, Edward, that exactly the same type of women attracts him. Except I think Mehgan Markle is much worse than Simpson lady. I think she's much, much worse, because at least Simpson seem to have cared about the Ginger King, and Mehgan she doesn't seem to care about anybody but herself. I just wonder how she even thinks of becoming a mother when she can't even respect her father, and I really feel sorry for him. But it's really horrible to have narcissistic children, but it's better to know narcissists than be a narcissist. Don't forget that. They're the worst enemy. Narcissists are not people that really have any depth of feeling and emotions. They're cold-blooded lizards, and the best place to be around narcissists as far as possible. And it's such a blessing to be far from them. So they really did the royal family a huge favor by moving away. Because I can't imagine what they would have done, what Mehgan would have done to England. In England, what she would have done, how much abuse the royal family would have suffered from her hands, from her meddling brain. I mean, you can see from the interviews, the woman is like, she's completely unaware of how much hate she spreads, claiming she's spreading love. And there's the last point I want to make is this use of African children as poster children, taking photos with African children, taking photos with her mother, planting her mother next to Queen Elizabeth. You know, it's sort of like anti-racism flag. But you know, it's not about your skin color. It's about being kind to every kind. That means chickens, ginger fathers, elderly ginger fathers, and everyone. If you're only, and this, a lot of African Americans have said it, if you're only nice to a person if they're rich and have dark skin, it's not really kind, is it? So that's all I have to say. For me, it was, I think for a lot of people, Mehgan Markle helped a lot of people to identify what a narcissist is and to head for the hills and go as far as possible for a narcissist, because narcissists are only going to damage you and spread poison. So if you know you can identify a narcissist, a person who's out there to use you, abuse you, and lose you, identify these qualities, that you're only serving a certain purpose. Person is not interested in you on any deep level, and you can see that they leave behind a whole bunch of they leave behind a trail of skeletons of all the people they used, abused, and lost. If you see that, please stay away from them. Nothing good can ever come from a narcissist. The only good that can come from a narcissist is the distance that you have between them and you. The bigger the distance, the better for you. Peace, light, and love.